Hi everyone, how are you all doing today? I'm doing pretty well. It's almost the weekend. It's Friday, so Friday, November 6th, in fact. And kind of a cloudy day today, but yeah, it's okay. My little dog is here with me. I think she wants attention. Hey. She's really cute. So we're going to have an introductory lesson to the next unit. It is about giving advice. Asking for advice and giving advice. That could be if you're talking to a friend, if you're talking to a family member, if you're talking to someone you respect, somebody older than you that you respect. And these can be different kinds of problems. In the textbook, right here, where is it? Oh, we have it about health. We have it related to health problems. And we'll talk about that somewhat, but I would actually like to talk about other problems too. Maybe personal problems you might have. Problems you might have in your school life. Because there can be many kinds of problems, and maybe you want to ask people for advice. So you might state your problem and then say, what should I do? So in Monday's lesson, we talked about, at the very end, I introduced the topic a little bit by, if you have a cold. If I say, I have a cold, what should I do? And so if a person wants to give you advice, they will say, you should, what ones did we, you should drink hot tea. Things like Sengang cha, ginger tea, or yuja cha, lemon tea, lemon honey tea. Hot tea is really good when you have a cold. You should drink tea, especially hot tea. You should get lots of rest. You should see a doctor. Now, many Koreans will say you should go to the hospital. Now, in English, we might not really say hospital for something like having a cold. You can see a doctor maybe, but we really wouldn't say go to the hospital. Going to the hospital is usually more for serious things. Serious problems that need treatment. We don't really use that for something like a cold. So, it's better to say that you should go to the doctor. And you should take some medicine. I think I mentioned last time that in English we take medicine. We actually don't eat it or drink it. I'm a bit uncomfortable, so I'm just going to move. Just sit up a little bit. My knee is hurting today. So, I should put ice on my knee. No, that's not comfy either. Sitting on the floor is bad. Anyway, now also there's things that maybe you're asking for advice, and people might tell you things that are a bad thing to do. Things you shouldn't do. If you have a cold, maybe you shouldn't go out. You shouldn't go to work. You shouldn't go to school today, because it's better if you stay home and rest. I think I mentioned last time that you shouldn't have dairy. I guess I should write that word down. I think I said that last time, right? Dairy is milk and milk products. So in addition to milk, we have cheese, yogurt, and ice cream are kind of the big ones. Some of the other ones maybe aren't so common, like sour cream. You don't get too many people having sour cream in this country. It's a shame. I like sour cream. It's like more like more sour version of yogurt. It's nice. It's common to put it on potato. Anyway, have it with nachos and potatoes and stuff. It's very good. But yeah, you shouldn't have dairy because it can kind of be bad for your throat. Maybe you can be. Some people say you can feel worse if you have dairy when you have a cold. So you shouldn't have dairy. Maybe some people say you shouldn't have cold drinks. I think I also mentioned that last time. You shouldn't have cold drinks. I don't know. A lot of people enjoy having orange juice when they have a cold. I think orange juice tastes nice and feels better, and that's a cold drink. The hot drinks are better, though, for sure. So, yeah, that's just one example, and we're going to talk about some health things, but maybe we can talk about other ones too. So I'm going to mention one. I guess I better explain what it is first, because maybe not all of you will know what this is, but if I don't have today. I don't have many now. A hangover. Hangover. A hangover. A hangover is when you feel sick from too much drinking. Usually the next day, the next morning. It can be like having a headache, you're throwing up, stomach, and you feel really tired. That's a hangover. Now, there's actually two things we can do with this one, a hangover. You might be thinking, what do you do about the hangover? Maybe we can talk about that. But also, what do you do to avoid a hangover? So maybe you're planning some big night out with your friends, but the next day you have some important meeting or well, maybe not test. You shouldn't be going drinking after a test or before a test. You should be drinking after a test. But anyway, maybe you got something important, and you don't want to be feeling really sick. You don't want a hangover. Well, maybe we'll start with that. So before drinking and while drinking. So maybe we can make a list of some things. You should. So a very common one is you should drink lots of water. So as you're drinking, also drink lots of water. Drink lots of water. To avoid getting a hangover, you should drink lots of water. Also, this one can be used after. If you have a hangover, it's also important. You should drink lots of water. But a lot of people say it's also important to eat lots of food. Yeah. Many people in here in Korea, they enjoy ordering a plate of fruit. Oftentimes when they're drinking. It's very healthy. It's always expensive though, the big plate of fruit. When I first came to Korea, I went to a pub and was drinking with some people, and one of them ordered a plate of fruit all of a sudden, and I thought, what is this? But it's nice, but yeah, expensive. But that's a kind of a good thing to have. Give you some vitamins, keep you going. Give you some energy. And I thought of one more here. Oh, doesn't look very good. Actually, I'm just going to rewrite this. Hang on. Sorry. Finally, I thought of one more. Pace yourself. Pace yourself. Meaning, kind of go slowly. Don't drink too fast. Don't drink a lot early in the evening. Kind of, you know. Yeah, I think you get the idea. So those are 3 things you should do. Drink lots of water, eat lots, pace yourself. This is to avoid getting a hangover. What about things you shouldn't do in this case? Maybe we can make a shouldn't list now. Things you shouldn't do if you want to avoid a hangover. You don't want to feel sick the next day. Well, big one, I think maybe the biggest one here. You shouldn't mix your drinks. Now that can be kind of sort of 2 ways to mix your drinks. You might be thinking like poktanju, somek kind of thing of having them together. In English, like a boiler maker of whiskey and beer. And that's one case. Yeah, mixing your drinks like that is bad. But also mixing your drinks over the whole evening. You know, what if you have an evening where you start by having samgyeopsal and soju, and then later you go have chicken and beer, and then you go have jun and makgeolli. Wow, so that's some soju, some beer, some makgeolli. Maybe that sounds pretty good, right? Maybe 3 nice drinks, 3 nice things to eat. But having all those different kinds of alcohol, I think, can give you a bigger headache. I think, and many Koreans say makgeolli gives big headaches. But yeah, I think it would be better if you just drank beer all night or soju all night. So yeah, a lot of people say you shouldn't mix your drinks. Kind of basically the same as pace yourself. The second one here is don't drink too fast. It's the same meaning as pace yourself. Actually, it shouldn't. You shouldn't. I'm sorry. It should just be drink too fast. You shouldn't drink too fast. The don't shouldn't be in there. I'm gonna write that out again. Drink too fast. You shouldn't drink too fast. And related to that is you shouldn't do shots. 1 shot. Not just soju, but things like whiskey and Jaeger. Jaeger's a pretty brutal drink. So yeah, those are all some examples of things you shouldn't do. Take a look one more time. You shouldn't mix your drinks. You shouldn't drink too fast. You shouldn't do shots. Okay, that's good. And let's see. So that's not having to avoid a hangover. Now, what if you drink all night and you have a hangover? You're just feeling so rough. What about in that case? What should you do? What should I do if I have a hangover already? Well, a good thing about being in Korea is Korea's got so many good foods. Hangover foods. The most well-known being haejanguk. You should eat haejanguk. But other things too. I often will enjoy something like sundae-gukbap. A lot of people like ramen. Yeah, so maybe something like gomtang. A lot of like nice hot soups and stews in this country are very good for hangovers. So, yeah. Also, a lot of people enjoy eating ice cream. So you should eat hei janguk. This is the same as before. Drink water or energy drinks. Things like Pocari Sweat and Powerade. I really like having Pocari Sweat in that case. I might drink water too, but yeah, Pocari Sweat I really like in that case. Maybe get lots of sleep if you have a hangover. So yeah, again, one more time, just to go over. You should eat hei janguk, you should drink water or energy drinks. You should get lots of sleep. What about things you shouldn't do in that case? If you have a hangover, what's something you shouldn't do? Oh, well, obviously. You shouldn't drink more. In English, we call that the hair of the dog, like kangaiji, the hair of the dog. Drink more when you feel a hangover. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Some people think it's a good thing, but yeah, you really shouldn't do that. You shouldn't drink more. Another thing I think, this is just me, I think a thing that's bad to have, and it's also another drink, is you shouldn't drink coffee. I drink lots of coffee. I drink coffee all the time, but it's never good after a hangover for some reason. I don't know why, but it never makes me feel good. It makes me feel worse, actually. One final one for things you shouldn't do in the case of a hangover is go driving. Go for a drive. Go on a bus. It can be bad for your stomach. Yeah, give you more of a headache and stuff. You could make you even more sick. It's terrible. You shouldn't go driving in the case of hangover. So yeah, one more time. If you have a hangover, you shouldn't drink more. You shouldn't drink coffee. You shouldn't go driving. Whew. Let's have a sip of water here. Now, how about something a little bit different? So, hangover is connected to health. Other problems can be more personal problems. Or they might not be physical health, they could be more like mental health. A common one, for someone like me, is if I feel homesick. Actually, I'll write that down too. Homesick. If you feel homesick, it happens when you might be living in another country, in another culture, and you're kind of away from family, from friends, from your culture, from your language. You're kind of away from a lot of things you are familiar with. And maybe you feel sad, you feel depressed if you're homesick. You really miss home. Now this maybe wouldn't happen on a trip, I don't think. It's never happened to me when I was traveling. Usually when I'm traveling, I just enjoy where I'm traveling. But living in another country, either to work or to study, you could sometimes really miss home. Just really miss home and feel sad and yeah. Like sometimes I do. I miss my mother and father a lot. I miss a lot of my family and my friends. Sometimes I just miss my hometown. So if a person you know is feeling homesick, if I'm feeling homesick, what advice do you give me? Well, one, you should visit your hometown. Take a trip, like in my case, take a trip back to Canada. And usually that's a good idea. That's something I can do. Right now, with COVID or Corona, it's not really possible. So I can't really do that now. So what's advice you could give me if I'm just here in Korea and feel homesick? Well, another one is you could chat online with family or with friends. Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, whatever. Um, or you should watch YouTube clips of Canada. So if I miss some things about Canada, I could watch things on YouTube. Maybe. Okay. So yeah, one more time just to go over these. You should visit your hometown. You should chat online with family. You should watch YouTube clips of Canada. Nice. Nice. I thought of them. So of course they're nice. Sorry. Okay, and that's a bit hard to think of things you shouldn't do. You shouldn't be alone in that case. Like I'm now married and we have a puppy and it's okay. It's good. But before I was married, if I felt homesick, it could be very lonely. So, oh, I'm sorry. Forgot to change it back. You shouldn't be alone. Yeah, you shouldn't be alone. One other one that I thought of is that you shouldn't think about it too much. Try to have some hobbies, try to do some things so you're not thinking about it. Maybe you forget about it a little bit is maybe a good idea. Now in this case I only thought of these two. You shouldn't be alone and you shouldn't think about it too much. I couldn't think of a third one. But yeah. But maybe that's where you can help. So I'll explain this a little bit in on the LMS system. Today there isn't a homework, but what I'd like you to try to do, and this will be put under your participation score. So it's not you don't have to do it, but what I want you to do is to give me some more advice. It could be about having a cold. It could be about avoiding a hangover, if I have a hangover, or if I feel homesick. Can you give me another piece of advice? You just have to text me over Kakao Talk. Make sure you tell me your name and everything, because some of you, your Kakao Talk names are, I don't know what they are. And you should write something, just write in a sentence, your advice to me about something maybe I should or shouldn't do about these one or maybe more of these problems. Okay. It's not quite a homework. It's just up to you. But yeah, you're supposed. I would like you to Kakao Talk the message to me. Okay. Just short, a sentence or two, however long you want it to be, really. Just to tell me some advice you'd like to give. I will explain this more in the write-up on the LMS system. Give you the same information about it. But yeah, please try to do that, okay? I think I'll put it under the assignments, but it won't be a homework like other ones. You don't send, you don't try to answer a bunch of questions. Just send in a Kakao message. Okay? So I think that'll be all. So it was nice lecturing to all of you today. We'll be back. Maybe on Tuesday I will share some of the more interesting pieces of advice that people gave me about these different problems. And we'll see what you. I'm looking forward to seeing what you all send me. So good. If you have any questions, send me a message, and I'll try to answer as quickly as I can. Sometimes I don't notice my phone, so if I take a bit longer, I'm sorry. But that'll be all for today. So have a great weekend, and see you next time. Bye.